The movie opens up with two men named Leland Jones and William Billy Orser. Leland is a middle-aged man while Billy is in his 20s. They leave their room in a remote rural motel at USA Midwest. Leland goes to check out. It takes more than regular. When Leland returns, he asks for water, but since the jug is empty, he asks Billy to fill it up from motel's water cooler. As Billy enters the motel, he finds two of the staff are brutally murdered, but he doesn't think much of it and simply keeps walking to fill the jug. Just then a cute baby girl who seems to be the staff's daughter steps out of one of the rooms. The girl is trembling and is feared to death. At first, Billy shushes her cautiously, but he then points his gun at her and shoots mercilessly. The movie then shifts where a same-age girl, Sarah, is screaming in fear as she had a nightmare of monster. His father, Tom Stahl, calms Sarah down, telling there's no such a thing as monster. Just then his brother, Jack, walks to the room and makes Sarah cheerful by laughing things off. The main character of the movie is Tom Stahl, who living a happy life with his wife, Edie, and their two children, 16 years old Jack and 10 years Sarah. Tom Stahl runs a small town's diner, while Edie is an attorney. Tom and Edie are deeply in love by each other, just as they dote on their children. The movie then shifts to Jack's school where he's playing baseball. He catches a fly ball and causes his team to win, while the opponent's player, Bobby Singer, is mad at him. Bobby turns out to be the class bully. After the game, he shows up in the locker room to bully Jack into a fight, telling him that if Jack thinks he is better than him, it must be proven by a fight. But Jack tells him it was just a stupid game and Bobby is better than him as he finds the whole conversation pointless. Bobby can't get what he wants and walks away in anger. Later that night, Edie picks Tom up from work. Along the way, Edie mentions that she has a romantic surprise for him. Since they have never experienced teenage lovemaking together, she's going to fix this. And because of that, she has managed to dump children out somehow. When they return home, Edie shows up in a cheerleader costume. They express their love for each other while they speak the catchphrase which is common amongst college students. Later that night, Jack can be seen chatting and smoking a joint along with his girlfriend. Just then, Bobby and his friend, who are driving around, spot them over the street. Looking for trouble, they plan to give Jack a good lesson and belittle him in front of his girlfriend. But they almost crash into a pickup truck belonging to Leland and Orser. Bobby gives them his finger but instantly backs down when he sees the looks on their faces, implying that he is messing with the wrong guys. Billy then rants about how he is sick and tired of this damn town and his locals. Leland tells him that he has a plan which will make his day. Leland and Billy head straight to Tom Stahl's diner when they're about to close. Leland calmly orders coffee and pie. Tom tells them they're closed. Leland adamantly repeats his words and shouting, freaking everyone out in the diner. Always peaceful and diplomatic, Tom agrees and starts pouring coffee for them. As his waitress, Charlotte, is going home after being told to do so by Tom. On her way out, she is stopped by Billy, who forces her into a chair and runs his hand over her breast. Tom assumes they want to rob him. He offers them all the cash in the register. But Leland shows him his gun and mentions that he doesn't need his money. Instead, he orders Billy to kill Charlotte. Seeing Leland's distraction, Tom crushes the pot of hot coffee in his hand over Leland's face, disarming him. He then nimbly jumps over the counter and in one quick move, recovers Leland's gun. Tom shoots Billy 3 times in the chest, making him fall through the glass door. He then shoots Leland in the head, after Leland stabbed him in the foot. Both criminals are dead while Charlotte is sobbing in panic. It's strange for a family man to be so skillful at gunslingering and confronting criminals, which everyone at the dinner also have noticed. His story makes the front pages of the newspapers and local media portray Tom as a hero. It's greatly covered by mass media and his employees have interviews telling if Tommy wasn't there, they had gone by now. Tom's injury is minor and he recovers in a few days. When Tommy and Edie step out of the hospital, he confronts locals in friends' appreciation and praising, which is also appreciated by Stahl's family. Tom avoids reporters and briefly replies to a persistent TV reporter that anybody would have done that in a similar situation. Jack is also excited that his father is a hero, but Tom modestly reminds that he has only got lucky. Edie also checks through the window only to find a car parked right over the road, happily assumed the car to belong to a fan. But unlike him, Tom gets suspicious and starts worrying about it. The following working day, 3 non-local well-dressed men appear in the cafe while the cafe is crowded with customers and well-wishers. The one who apparently is the leader of the group, named Carl Fogarty, asks for a cup of coffee. Carl looks mysterious and scary. He refers to Tom as Joey a few times, in spite of the fact that Tom says he has mistaken him for another person, but the man is adamant that he knows him, considering him to be Tom from Philadelphia. After Edie overhears their conversation, she finds their presence disturbing, insisting that they must order or leave. Carl gives Tom a $100 tip and ironically says that now they are paid-up customers. As the men are leaving, Tom insists that his name is Tom Stahl, not Joey, but the man just sneers at him. Once they leave, Edie instantly contacts a sheriff who is very close to them to inform about the suspected group. The men then can be seen driving their car on a rural road when they are stopped by a patrol car. Sam Carney is a seasoned sheriff who received a call from Edie earlier. The sheriff warns the suspected group that the city is calm, and they don't need any trouble here. But the group, particularly Carl, seems not to be the slightest bit fazed by his suggested threats. Later that day, Sam pays Tom and Edie a visit, briefing them about his confrontation with Carl. On investigation, it's revealed that these three men are a mob of organized crime from the East Coast. Sam called a few police contacts in Philadelphia as well within the FBI, but he couldn't get any data or discover any criminal record on Joey Cusack, which was the name they called Tom. But there's a Richard Cusack in Philly, an Irish-American crime family boss who are based in Philadelphia, which the three men are associated to. After Sam leaving, Edie bursts into crying. Seeing this, Tom tries his best to calm her down, saying that he will protect them against these criminals. A few days later, after Tom spots the mobster driving in the direction of his residence, he becomes panicked and calls Edie to alert him. Wasting no time, he hobbles back all the way down from work to the house. Huffing and puffing, he arrives only to find a scared Edie, who carries a shotgun and is ready to shoot. He gets calm to find there's nothing threatening his family. Everyone becomes worried, seeing a devastated and out-of-breath Tom. Jack then asks his father the reason behind his worry, while he is too scared as well. Tom recites him the story and assures him that he will handle this, while it doesn't lessen Jack's concern at all. Later that evening, Edie is shopping at a local mall when she finds her daughter go missing. In going after her, Edie bumps into Carl Fogarty, who sits in a nearby chair, staring at Sarah and a smile. Carl initiates a conversation to Edie, claiming Tom is not who he pretends to be. He simply urges her to ask Tom about Richie Cusack, whom Fogarty claims to be Tom's brother. He wants Edie to wonder, how come Tom is so good at killing people? Carl also claims that Tom has been the one who ripped off Carl's eye with a barbed wire, indicating how tough guy he is. Edie strongly defends Tom and gives Carl an ultimate warning to stay away from her family, or else he will be arrested. But Carl doesn't think much of it. The very same day at school, Jack can be seen talking to his girlfriend, Judy, about his father's devastation after the problems he has got into. While Judy believes it's normal to act weird a tad after killing somebody. Just then they are approached by Bobby and his friend, who start bullying Jack in front of his girlfriend, comparing his father's bravery versus Jack being a coward. However, Jack is furious. He tries to walk off, but is held back by Bobby's buddy. As Jack is further belittled by them, in a fit of rage, he starts beating the two of them severely, left everyone dazzled. We now see that both Tom and Jack can be capable of veritable mischief if they are pushed far off adequate. Once Jack returns home, Tom and Jack starts arguing over what took place in school. As they bicker, Jack makes an offensive remark over Tom shooting the two thugs. In this family, we do not solve our problems by hitting people. Oh, in this family, we shoot them. Tom slaps Jack right away, which causes Jack to leave the house in anger. A while later, Tom spots Carl's car parked by his house. Tom appears at the front door carrying a shotgun. Carl asks Tom to put down his weapon and come with them to Philadelphia to meet his brother, Richie. When Tom refuses, one of the men exits the car, holding Jack hostage. Seeing this, Edie becomes petrified and rushes to her son, but is stopped by Tom. Tom promises that he will take care of everything. Left with no choice, Tom is forced to put down his shotgun to set his son free. But after Jack runs back into the house, Tom backs out and refuses to go with them. One of the men points a gun at Tom's head. Tom breaks the attacker's arm, strikes the man's nose severely for several times with his palm, and shoots the other gangster with 2 rounds in the chest. Edie observes it all through the window, seeing how expert at fighting and comfortable with violence her husband is. Carl finally shoots Tom in the shoulder, which disarms him as well. Carl approaches injured Tom and angrily asks him if he has any last words before his death. Tom blares at Carl, saying that he must have killed him back in Philly. But Carl doesn't think much of it and is ready to pull the trigger, but is shot to death by Jack, who has retrieved his dad's shotgun. Jack is shocked by what he has done. Tom blares at Jack with a mysterious, scary look, indicating that he might have had a criminal life back in Philadelphia. He takes the weapon from Jack. His character again switches to normal and hugs his son who just saved his life. Jack bursts into crying. Later that evening, Edie visits Tom, who is recovering in the hospital bed. Edie is confident his husband has a dark history. Because of this, she begs him in tears to disclose her the truth. She also deduces that Tom has just killed 2 criminals with his bare hands, which proves Carl was right about Tom's past. Tom finally comes clean to his wife that he was a menacing hitman in the mob when he was a teenager. He also confesses that his real name is Joey Cusack. But he has given up the mob life many years ago after messing with Carl Fogarty and became a new man, Tom Stahl. Edie gets shocked and heartbroken hearing all these. She asks him why he had used to kill people, To which Tom simply replies that because of money and pleasure. After recovering at the hospital, Tom is met by Sam, who is suspicious at Tom not telling him the whole truth about Carl Fogarty. Sam deduces that these urban mob figures are greatly undercover men, and they wouldn't have covered miles away from Philadelphia unless they were beyond any doubt they were seeking out for the correct man. Tom is about to confess that he is Joey Cusack, but Edie arrives on time. She takes a sit next to Tom, pretending everything is fine between them. However, Edie is normally petrified and irate at recent disclosure. She defends Tom still. Sam takes off. In spite of the fact, he subtly shows them he knows they're either lying or covering up something. After Sam leaving, Edie unleashes herself from Tom in aversion, slapping him and yelling, "Joey?" Tom/Joey pushes her down onto the staircase, and they engage in a very intense sex scene that contrasts with their playful/amorous lovemaking in a prior scene. Afterward, that night in bed, Tom is awakened by a phone call from Richie himself. Richie makes an implied threat, saying, "Are you gonna come see me, or do I need to come see you?" Tom takes off his house at daybreak and drives all day and night to Philadelphia. Upon arriving, he meets a youthful, harsh-looking fellow in a bar. The man drives him to a luxury mansion where Tom meets a well-dressed certain man who shows up to be very cheerful to see his little brother. After some conversation about Joey's new life as Tom's stall, Richie starts telling Tom about the impressive, costly inconvenience and misfortune of status inside the mob caused by Joey's activities before he vanished. Tom, who now not needs any portion of the mob life, asks Richie, "Let me know what I got to do to make things right." Richie calmly answers, "You could die, Joey," and turns around to not observe the driver as he wraps a garrote around Tom's throat and tries to choke him. Since Joey expects this, he nimbly slaughters the driver and two other bodyguards barehanded, using his phenomenal fighting skills. In an attempt to killing his own brother, Richie shoots him several times but misses. Considering that Joey has run out the front door, Richie chases after him outside. Joey slaughters the last bodyguard in the house and locks Richie inside the room. Richie gets his keys out to open the door, but Joey opens the door first. Inevitably, he shoots Richie in the head, killing him right away. Tom drives all the way back home to find his family just starting to eat dinner. Looking depleted after being absent for 2 days, he sits at the table. His lovely girl Sarah set the table for him. Jack sits at the table with his guardians and doesn't say a word. At long last, Edie looks back up at Tom, tears beginning to run down her face. Tom looks back at her with a lamented expression. Tom and Edie stare at each other in a way that appears that their relationship has changed, but there's still a chance for them to stay together and fix their family life. It's obvious that Joey Cusack is a threat, but it has been proved that he could be a Tom stall as well.